Hello everyone, it's NotaNoobPat, and welcome to Perk Review. Today we're taking a look at the level 30 Nemesis perk, Lethal Pursuer. With this perk, at the start of a trial, the auras of all survivors are revealed to you for 9 seconds. The main pro to this perk is that it is a guaranteed fast start. 9 seconds of activation is long enough to see the auras of all survivors and make your way to the one you want to hook first. It is worth noting that this perk is god tier on some killers like the Hillbilly, or with some perks like Barbecue and Chili, which will show you where the survivors are at after you hook the initial survivor you see from Lethal Pursuer. The con is, and it is a very big one, that you lose this perk slot after 9 seconds. You have to make sure you get enough value out of the 9 seconds of activation of Lethal Pursuer to make it worth playing the rest of the game with only 3 perks. Let's get into our video demonstration. Lethal Pursuer is very simple, so I only need about 30 seconds for the demonstration. You will see that I spawn into Dead Dog Saloon and I see the survivor's auras for the 9 seconds of activation. You can track the activation by looking at the perk icon in the perk window. The timer will spin clockwise for the 9 seconds of activation, and then the perk icon will be dull the rest of